Welcome back. I know in the last video I said that this one we would be getting started on insulation. Once again, I'm jumping too far ahead, not realizing there's still a couple more other steps I still have to do first. One being, I had to mix up a gallon of boric air to spray around all the studs and the parts of the subfloor before insulation. That way this stuff has enough time to cure, crystallize, and just set up for future bug prevention. Once that dries, I'll be laying down some borax in between the studs and then laying in insulation. But even before I can get to the insulation, after I do the insect prevention, I need to go around these two walls here and add some 2x6 stud supports. There are none in this top section above the top plates where I need to put more insulation at. So I need to purchase some 2x6 studs, or purchase some 2x6 boards for studs, so that we have some meat to install that insulation. And after that, I will start with the ceiling first and then work my way around the walls. But that's a whole other video. Right now, we're going to focus on getting this insect prevention taken care of, and then the stud work will be done in this video as well, before I do a video just on insulation. So, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. This one shouldn't take too long. I've already mixed up the boric air that I need, that I'm going to be spraying around the perimeter. And that's pretty much going to be it for the day, because it needs to cure overnight. Well, that's it for that. Looks like I just didn't have enough to make it all the way around. It was 1 gallon. So that tells you a 16 by 16 room takes about a gallon to spray every corner or every side. But that's going to be it for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow when I start putting in those 2x8s. So it's another day. It's been a couple of days, in fact, since the last time I was in here. I let everything that I sprayed give a chance to cure and soak in really well and all that stuff. Little change of plans. I did want to go ahead and start cutting in those 2x6s to size for the, I guess, be like a faux stud up at the top where I would be adding some insulation. I'm still going to do that, but I've decided I think that those studs would be in my way for the ceiling insulation. So what I've decided to do is go ahead and put that insulation in first. I've already got my R30 sitting over here for the ceiling. So I'm going to go ahead and install that first today. And then tomorrow we'll come back in and lay out those studs on top for the R19 that will be going in the walls. Well, I can't believe it. That's it for the ceiling insulation. Not as bad as I thought it was going to go. We were able to get it done in one night. How about that? And I will say this Owens Corning pink next gen fiberglass insulation, not sponsored. Anyone, no time. It's not going to be a thing here most likely, but that's besides the point. This stuff's pretty good. It really is low dust. I just checked, I aimed my light to the side and stuff just so how much particulate I could see in the air. I didn't see very much. Just looked like normal room dust in the air. I do recommend still wearing a mask while doing the install, just because it is fiberglass. And I will say also, if anyone's wondering if I'm itchy at all, yes, I'm itchy, but nowhere near as bad as it was with that old stuff that we pulled out of the walls to begin with. This is very tolerable. I'm sure just a quick wash and I'm not going to feel anything anymore. So you don't necessarily have to do it with gloves unless you have some kind of bad skin irritation issue when it comes to fiberglass or any other things that you may be allergic to. Maybe you still want to wear gloves, but for me, I didn't have to this time. But that's going to be it for the night. I need to do a little bit more cleaning on stuff tomorrow before I get started doing the 2x6s that need to be installed as studs above the top plate. But yeah, that's it for the night. And I'll see y'all tomorrow at some point. Alright, so it's the next day. I need to go ahead and start marking and cutting these 2x6s to finish off the studs up here at the top above the top plate. Otherwise, I'm not really going to have anything for the drywall to attach to above that top plate. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, and then most likely not tonight, probably tomorrow, I need to work on the furring strips that go across the ceiling. I almost forgot about those. So I went and picked up a bunch of those that I'm going to be placing about 12 on center, all the way down. But yeah, we'll talk more about that later. But for now, let's go ahead and get these 2x6s cut to size and set up. So those sections are up on this side. I know there's more of a gap here on this side. I really wanted to try to keep it in line with the, but there's really no use for support as it really gets down to this small angle. Besides, I really just wanted to line everything up with, make sure everything matched with the insulation anyway, as well as the drywall. I think there's plenty enough, I think there's little enough of a gap up there. When I do the drywall, it's not really going to matter. But I'll be able to have enough space to stuff in some insulation in those areas anyway. So that side's done. We're going to go ahead and concentrate on this side. But I also wanted to show here, if you'll notice, where the studs are in this section, just where this area meets the rafters, or whatever you might call them, where the R30 is. I know that I could go with something else, but seeing as how this gap here is already the same size as R30, And I have some of this R30 left over. I know it's not great for your R value to put an R30 in a 2x6 slot, but I have it to spare, so why not go ahead and fill these sections up with that leftover R30. I don't really know what it's going to do, and we really won't know until everything is up if it's going to matter that much at all, which it probably will. They say it does, and it probably does, but I'm using it. I have it, and I'd rather just go ahead and get rid of it rather than it just be thrown away at some point. Oh, and before I get started on this side, I don't know if anyone has noticed yet or not, but the couches are gone. I finally have those things out of my way, so I have a lot more space, a lot more wiggle room. I can really move around in here, and by the time we get to drywall, nothing's going to be in the way. So that's done. So they were finally put inside. I had some help, thanks to my brother-in-law Cody, for coming out and giving me a hand with those things because they are heavy. But I'm going to go ahead and get this part taken care of right quick. And if I feel up to it, I may go ahead and try out a couple of these furring strips right quick, just to see what it looks like and see how things are going to go about. But we'll get to that in time. This section here, I'm going to try to go with a 2x4. The 2x6 won't fit there because of that 2x8. So I'm hoping this will make a nice snug fit. Not bad. I'm thinking the best way to hang these to start off with is with like a finish nail. Mind you, not permanently as far as screwing drywall into these things, just with just the finish nail holding these in place. I mean, like shooting some finishing nails along the line here and then going back in with screws later, just to hold it up, so that I'm not having to fiddle with it too much. I'm going to try that out anyway, just to see if throwing a couple finish nails and holding in place will do the trick. Yeah, so it looks like 3 finish nails is more than enough to hold it in place, and I'll just go back and screw everything down later. Because I'll have to go through now and cut everything to size as I'm going along, and it's starting to get late now, so at least I have an idea of what I need to do with the furring strips, and we could pick up on that tomorrow. So that is going to do it for tonight. Maybe by this weekend we'll be able to go ahead and get insulation in these walls. At least that is the plan at the moment. And then get ready for drywall the following week. So, yep, I will catch you guys tomorrow. So, we've made it to the next day. I'm going to pick up right where we left off last night and starting these furring strips. The finishing nail method worked pretty good, just throwing a couple of those up so I could go back and screw it in later, which I already did that one, just to see how well the furring strip would hold up to having screws running through it. I didn't know if maybe I would need to pre-drill, and I really don't need to. There was no splitting or anything like that. Held up really well, and I was pretty much able to put my full weight on those things, so I know that it's going to hold up that drywall pretty easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it and see if we can knock this out tonight. Oh, and if I didn't mention this before, all of these are going to be set up at 12 on center, just to make sure it has some decent coverage. I believe minimum is the 12 on center up to 24. But seeing as how I'm going with 5/8 drywall, it would probably be best if I gave the drywall plenty of surface area to be screwed to. So that's what I'm going with. those furring strips are up. That's one half done, one half down to go. If you notice, I had to remove two of those studs that I had put up yesterday just because they were interfering with the furring strips. I should have known better, but it seemed to have skipped all the others, so I'm going to have to go back and rework those possibly tomorrow. I'm not going to do that tonight. But we are going to be able to finish up these furring strips tonight, at least getting them stapled up there where I should finish nails in them. I thought about going ahead and doing the screws on this side and screwing all of that in. And then I thought, well, why not just go ahead and get those furring strips in on that side and do all of that at one time. It seems like it'll be a little bit faster than just going back and screwing all these in and then going back to doing those. So, I'm going to go ahead. Let's finish this up. I may start at this end and work my way back this way possibly. Because by the end here, I have got to do some cutting. Because that door is at a 45 there. So those strips are just going to get shorter and shorter. Unless I want to go ahead and get that hard part out of the way. Tell you what, let's go ahead and get the hard part out of the way. Then I guess we'll just be able to sail through the last little bit. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, and yeah, I guess we did end up doing really good in our measuring and hit dead center on that ceiling fan mount. It is dead center between those two boards. So I think we really did find the center of the room. So I'm pretty proud of myself on that. That's great. Let's get to it. Those are all up for the night. Mind you, they're not screwed in. That's just a temporary hold. Have I said temporary before? I don't feel like I've said temporary. It's up there. I'm going to screw everything permanently tomorrow. I'm curious to whether these splits, these seams in the insulation, I'm wondering if I can tape those together with like painter's tape. I have a lot of painter's tape. I wonder if that's the thing I can do is tape those seams together. Closing it up, making it nice and neat, and I think, better for not necessarily being airtight, but to keep temps where they're supposed to be. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to call this video done, minus the screwing in everything. I'm going to do that off camera, but that's it for this one. The next one is going to be doing up these walls. So that'll be happening this weekend. Getting close. Keep saying that, but we are getting close. So that's going to be it. I appreciate y'all watching and hope to see you in the next video. Night night.